Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam, amma ba'da. Habita fillah, assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. As'al Allah kareem, Rabbil arshil azim, and yatawallana fi dunya wal akhirah. We ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Almighty, accepts our good and forgives our evil, protects us from kulli su' makruh, rectifies our condition and affairs, cleans our heart from any and all forms of sin. Ahabati fillah, I just wanted to mention an important qa'idah shar'i, and that is al-asl fi ibadat tawqifiyya. Al-asl fi al-ibadat at-tawqifiyya, which means that the origin of worship is that it is prohibited to embark on it unless there is evidence from the Qur'an and the Sunnah. There is evidence from the Qur'an and or Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So that's what we mean by ibadat is tawqifiyya. And along with that, ahabati fillah, for example, if a mubtadi'ah, someone who is an innovator in the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they have deviated from the sources, from the Qur'an and the Sunnah, and the methodology of the Salafist ummah, for example, whether that be in ibadat, mu'amalat, or their i'tiqadat, their creed, what have you. And the mubtadi'ah says, I want you to show me evidence that I'm wrong. This is a khata because the mubtadi'ah who exalts a principle, who believes in a certain aqidah, who practices a certain practice, they are the one mutallaban lid-dalil. They're the ones who have to bring evidence, not the people of the Sunnah. Although the people of the Sunnah, they do in order to refute the people of bid'ah and desires for all the things that they bring about in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's religion. However, the asl is they have to prove whatever they are claiming to be from Allah's deen. They need to prove it, and they need to prove it with evidence from the shar', meaning from the Qur'an or from the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the authentic Sunnah of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, or the ijma', the consensus of the scholars, or that it is by analogy. And with aqidah, it should emanate, because we only get our i'tiqad. It can't be just that a bunch of scholars come together and they say, hey, believe in this. But when it comes to aqidah, creed, it needs to be affirmed from the Qur'an and the Sunnah, because this has to do with umur al-ukhrawiyya. It has to do with issues of the hereafter, and also it has to do with umur al-ghaybiyya, issues of the unseen world. So this revelation, the reason we know there are angels that exist, not just because of ijma, the scholars, no. We know that because Allah mentions them in the Qur'an, and the Prophet ﷺ mentions them in the authentic Sunnah. So we know those issues of the ghaib, the unseen, which has to do with our i'tiqad, our creed. We only know that from the Qur'an and the Sunnah. So it's very important, ahabati fillah, that when we're practicing our Islam, that we're cautious about the practices, the statements we make, the aqidah, the creed that we have. It has to be substantiated by evidence from the Qur'an and Sunnah. But it cannot be just based on dreams or based on fatawa, religious verdicts, or opinions of people, or whims, or desires. That is what the people of desires do. But the people of the Sunnah, they know and they operate by this qa'idah. al-ibadat, al-aslu fi ibadat tawqifiyya. That the origin of worship is that it is tawqifiyya, that it is something we can't alter, and it's something that doesn't change, and that we stop with the divine nusus, divine text stop. So we can't just come up with our opinions and our whims for new religious theology and aqidah and creed or methodology. And in light of this, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Almighty, to accept our good and forgive our evil, protect us from kulli su' wa makruh, wa sallallahu wa sallam ala nabiyyina Muhammad.